And we are back. Jumping right into our second conversation, we are talking about the Son of a Father Men's Conference 2020. And we are here speaking with the organizers of this pretty exciting event. So joining us for the conversation is Pastor Martin Seca, who is a speaker at the Men's Conference. We also have Garing Carballo, who is an organizer of the conference. And we also have Kerm Thimbrel, who is another speaker at the front. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
It's
a pleasure.
So this sounds pretty exciting. Yes. Why don't you tell us about how the idea came about for this conference and what its main aim is?
Okay, well, the conference is something that the Reformation team Belize have been having for years now. This year I was asked to organize and facilitate this conference. And so we have it, Son of a Father. The team speaks for itself. In reality, a Son of a Father is very crucial, it's very critical when we look at the state of our men. Here in Belize, we know a lot of fatherless homes. We have a lot of dads, that are not where they should be at in the home, in the community. And so Son of a Father is basically God's original intent. What he's calling out, charging our men with, and the direction that he wants to see the nation move. Yeah. And so it's bringing back the hearts of the fathers to their sons and the sons of their fathers. And the hearts of the sons to their fathers. And so basically that's the main theme of the event.
And the theme is reclaiming your identity as a man.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to break that down a bit, especially for us women.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So reclaiming your identity as a man.
See how he says it, right? Man.
Yes, correct, as a man. Yeah. Again, when we look at our community, there's a lot of perception on what a male or a guy should be. Reclaiming our identity basically is talking about who are you as a man? What is your role, your purpose, the reason for your existence? And what we've done with the conference is that we have divided up that theme into subtopics. And so each night there'll be a specific speaker here to touch on a specific topic for the event. And so we have, for instance, day one, we have Kerm, who is talking on God's intent. Who am I as a man? Then we have Pastor Seca, who will be talking about purpose and you finding your work. And so those are some of the things that we'll be talking on at the conference. And so I don't want to give it all out on the show this morning. You want to invite men to come and to talk.
Well, when I heard reclaiming, it sounds like you somehow felt like you lost something. What did you lose?
There is a sense in this society, to be honest with you. There is a misconception of what men ought to be, either in the role of a husband, a father, a leader, an influencer. Yeah. And when you don't know that, the reason you don't know it as a man is because you have not been taught or been given an affirmation from somebody that you honor, somebody that you respect. Yeah. And when you hear that, this is not only for men, this is for women too. Women need to hear that. But as a man, you need to say, hey, you are greater than this. You are stronger than this. And we don't get taught that. Our cultures don't teach that much. Yeah. And we need that. If we don't have the position or identity, knowing who we are, along life, we get influenced by different things. And we become influenced instead of being influencers. And that's what we should be. We should be the ones influencing our wives, our children, society. We should be the ones that come in and say, you know what, this we can do, this we cannot do. But if they cannot do that, if they don't know how. I'm going to have the honor of speaking on the aspects of work, the ethics of work, the responsibility of work, to take on opportunities. Then I'm going to be speaking on purpose. We have so many, not only men, but in general, a lot of people who do not know your purpose. And it's important to know. Now, you can do a job, but that doesn't mean that's your purpose. Purpose, a job is to get something done and put food on the table, but your purpose is what gives you fulfillment. I love doing this because it is my purpose. Whether anybody else likes it or not, this is what I have been called. And people have to be directed in that direction. So, hey, find what you love and do it with passion. Then I'm going to be speaking on stewardship. Not only stewardship, when we think about stewardship, we think about economics and things like that, but not only that, stewardship in your time. Very important. We don't find out how important time is until you're 40 or 50 or 60 years old. You're like, I'm running out of time. And we need to be stewardships of our tongue. What we say is very influential. The Bible says that there's life and death in the power of the tongue. You can raise somebody up or tear somebody down. So the stewardship of the tongue. And nobody really teaches these things.
Yeah.
So those are the things we're going to be speaking about.
And it's a man-to-man conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
That will be taking
Absolutely.
place.
Yes.
Because ideally, you want to hear from your peers. This is. I think, I imagine what you're trying to achieve. But when we look at the situation of men in the country, and I'll be honest, I think there is a lot that has to be corrected. In terms of what we have taught our men that they should be. And I want to start with, as a woman, I think that one of the things I observe very often is just being able to recognize the emotional well-being of a man.
Very important.
And I think that we see a lot of the consequences of that kind of messaging to boys and men in the actions that we see, a lot of the violence that we see. There's no emotional regulation. There's no recognition that you do need care and affection and attention.
Absolutely.
How do you bring out that message, especially because it's deconstructing what some of these men have learned their entire life?
Yeah. Well, Marlene, the issue is, as we were talking, I was thinking about even the whole aspect of emotional intelligence for everyone. This is so critical. We come from a society where it's dysfunctional at every single level. You were just talking about the politics and governance with Mr. Darrell Bradley, and it's at every single level. So when we talk about reclaiming, it's bringing the original intent of God's heart for every person. The way people were raised in their families created a lot of damage to our society today. We believe that is why there's so much crime and violence. There's anger, because a lot of these emotions that people suffered at a very early age have not been in fact corrected. And so for us to be able to get the necessary, or see our nation come into its fullness, it will mean that we have to go back and address these issues. And so I'm very grateful over my years of walking of my Christianity to have been trained by very, very powerful organizations who understood the science of the human heart and emotional traumas, and how do you correct some of those things. Over the years, I've gone into the high schools, talked to students, and I've seen the significant impact that it makes in the life even of a young person who has the entire future in front of them. When you come into their lives and you help them to be able to identify why they can't learn in school, why they can't have healthy relationships, and to be able to explain to them why they're having some of the struggles, everyday struggles we're talking about, in their personal lives. And if not corrected at those early stages, it will trickle over into maybe even some of what we're seeing right now in our nation. The overflow of, do we have good leadership? We need good leadership.
And
Everybody
our leaders are predominantly men, historically have been men. So
well, it's
we
for
can blame
everybody,
men
but
for where we are now,
men are called to lead, right? So.
No, I won't go that route. But no, because we need to do more for boys and men in our country.
Absolutely.
And I think on this very same show, we've talked about, men's organizations. Women need work. I mean, we need support. We need to be protected because we're not protected enough. But that doesn't mean, there's something about when you empower one group, people feel that you're diminishing the other, and that's not the case. So when you talk about empowering men, how are you also going to ensure that you recognize that it's not creating an imbalance in power, but kind of leveling it off?
I think that's comes in with knowledge. it's very important to be knowledgeable. When you are knowledgeable, you step into whatever realm or direction you want to go with confidence. Would you not agree? Yeah. Because it is a lot easier to teach and instruct a young person or a young boy than to fix a broken man. Yeah. So we need to catch them, while they're young. This is the challenge that we're having, I think, all over cultures, everywhere in the world, is we're not teaching our young boys, this is the way you treat God. This is the way you treat women. This is the way you treat society.
And yourself.
Exactly. That is vital.
Yeah.
And it starts right there. We cannot change the world if we cannot change ourselves. Yeah. It has to start with you. It's so easy to say, you need to change, you need to change, you need this. But it's very difficult to say, I need to do this. Mm-hmm. I need to change that. And it starts with one. If we can get one man, because it only takes one man sometimes to start a forest fire, one match to start a forest fire and get something going. But it's got to start somewhere. Yeah. And we need to know where our trajectory is, what our target is. What do we want? We just can't say in generality, we want better men. Mm-hmm. In what aspect? That's right. How much better? Let's get a focused target and say, this much better. Let's make them better dads. Let's make them better husbands. Let's make better leaders, better, whatever the case may be. This is where we're going, and then target and plan and strategize in that direction. So we know when we hit the mark, we know we hit it. Mm-hmm. We hit it with him. We hit it with that family. We hit it with them. We have to know specifically where we are going, and we need to start.
What did you see, whether within the church or the community, the greatest lack that you saw that you really, you're hoping this conference will address?
I think for, I believe it's fatherhood. Mm-hmm. Fatherlessness is one of the most damaging things that could ever happen to a community, to a nation, and it's the foundation. I believe if we go back to the foundation, and we look, fathers are the foundation of a home. You find out that from surveys, if there's not that father figure, that father love in the home, that trickles to a lot of side effects in the community. And so, going back to the team, a son of a father of a son, it's emphasizing on good fatherhood. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to push throughout this whole week. Yeah. That we are the sons of a good father. You know, our mighty father. The Bible says He's the father to the fatherless. And for me personally, growing up, I have been blessed to the last few years that I spent it with my dad was so, man. If you can, as a child, if you would look and say, man, and you have experienced the goodness of a dad, you'll definitely have a great impact. That's right. Yes, that will definitely have a great impact on your life. And so, I think that's one of the main causes of a society. There hasn't been the love of a father in home, and so if we can go back to that and start from there, I believe that will definitely impact
I think that
our lives.
That brings up an important thing, something that you mentioned earlier, because usually, automatically, a father is usually your first male role model.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you don't have one, or if you perhaps have the wrong one, then it becomes more difficult to find your place in society, become a productive member, and stay on what's a good path and contribute to yourself. Yeah. Especially in as we were talking about earlier, where maybe the political leadership or just in general, that's kind of lacking as well. So is that also something that you're looking to address? How to perhaps guide people towards becoming role models and finding which ones are good as well? Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's critical. We have to address the whole individual. Mm-hmm. It's a holistic approach if we're going to be able to make any significant impact on our nation, which is definitely our goal. We're being intentional. We're being we're being strategic because we realize what some of the challenges are that our nation is facing. And so, as what Garing was saying earlier, God is the ultimate father. And when we look at Him, if we realizing that we're all created in His image, obviously He has something to offer us. What we like to say is that in a lot of the work that we do, it's critical for us to understand the importance of adding value to people's lives.
Yeah.
If I can come into your life and add value from where you are and take you to the next places of significant importance, it will make you want to be a part of what we're doing. And I believe that is what a big part of the heart of what this is about, is how do we add value to you today, right where you are, and to every single person. So as we're speaking, we're going to be speaking in general terms to affect and impact the lives of every single person, whether it's touching into areas of your emotional traumas from a child, or what is God's real intent for you. Do we want to allow you to just continue to live a compromised life, as I would call it? When we talk about God's original intent, it's greater than the current life that you're living, because the goal of God is to pull us higher, every single person.
Yes.
And He has the capacity to do that. He has the ability to do that. He's driven by love for all of us. He wants to lift us up to a higher place. And the great Miles Monroe, the late Miles Monroe, he says the saddest thing in life is this, that the wealthiest place on planet Earth is the burial ground.
That's right.
You know why? Because there are so many buried dreams. Our goal in this conference is to bring those things alive and let them be realized. But not just that, but to give people the practical steps and tools to be able to implement, to make the shift. Because we all want that shift in our lives.
And it's going back to our first conversation, it's almost a recognition of power. How are human beings created between a man and a woman? Then a woman really takes on the larger responsibility in carrying the child, delivering the child, nurturing for the child. But it didn't mean that the responsibility of the man was over.
Exactly.
He has a very crucial role in the emotional development. Forget the bread on the table.
Exactly.
The emotional development of that boy or girl. Because fathers teach daughters how to love. So if they don't love their wives enough, or they love their wives incorrectly, they teach those girls that's okay.
Absolutely.
And they teach boys what type of man to be. So this is where I've seen, and you're right, we have single parents in this country, but we also have a lot of marriages that people are together, but the fathers still aren't setting the right example.
Exactly.
They feel that they could be a good father by providing, but not a good husband. Or, in some cases, be a good husband, but you take care of the children. And not really a balancing of that role. Clearly you are men who are active in your church, and I'd imagine in your society.
That's right.
What have you found to be the most effective message that you pass on to young boys or young men that helps them to recognize that they have a role in shaping the children and the wider society?
Let me say quickly. My good friend Admiral Boland says, he trains men. He trains all these SEALs, and I really love him and I respect him because of the kind of work he does. He says the first thing you got to do with a man, you got to break down a man before you can build him back. You got to let a man know his strength, where his strengths stop, that you can build what he really needs in his life. As you look in the in the book of Jeremiah, God called Jeremiah the prophet, and he says, you got to tear down before you can build up. We got to analyze where everybody is at. We got to analyze and be able to know what we give to them. I like to tell people, you know what? We got to connect you into that person that will help you to be able to become the expert at what you want to be. It's kind of like when you guys went to school. You didn't just go anywhere. You selected the right place because you wanted to be professionally trained and rightly equipped. And I believe that's a part of the message we want to send here, is analyzing where every single person is at. And what are the things that you need to take you to the next levels, because we're building intentionally in people's lives. So.
That's good. One of the things that you mentioned, or you asked, is what is something that we can instill in our young boys or your children? In my studies, I've learned that the best thing you can give a child is a good, solid self-esteem. When they leave the home to go to college, to the university at 18 or 19, they should be able to go and say, if my father and mother did it, so can I. So can I. So you said something very crucial about being the example. And we must have those examples. and there are far too many, far few in between, but we need more of those. Where do we go for the example to be a good man? Do we go to Wall Street? Do we go to the government? Do we go? No, they should not go that far. They should just turn around and see their father and say, that's my good example. As a dad, and you mentioned something very crucial, as a husband, and you hit it right on the dot when you said that they're learning. They may not listen to you, what you say, but they will see and mimic you when they get older, because they get ingrained. This is the way my daddy taught or treated my mother, treated society. This is the way my dad treated me. So they learn. We all have learned. At one point or another, whether we love our dad or not love our dad, that male figure came in and they influenced us in one way or another.
All right, so how long is this conference?
So
Is it a year long?
Well, it's funny you say that, but there has to be some consistency, because we don't want to just go and shake the box and get everybody excited. But there's got to be some consistency, and this is where commitment comes in. This is where commitment. We need to tell each man, hey, I'm committed to you for however long it takes to get you to the next level. Pastor said we need to get you to the next level. We need to stop teaching our children to be status quo or to settle. No, there's more. There's more. Matter of fact, you professionals, there's more to this. I'm sure there's more ambition to say, I want to be more, I want to do more, I want to influence more. That's what we need to teach our children. There's more than this. Do not settle. You were not created to settle, to just pay the bills and then die. No, 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 no. You were called for greatness. Now somebody's got to teach you, not by way of lips, but by way of example. So we need people such as yourself. You're influencer. People see you, oh, there she is, there he is, and you don't even know. You're influencing little girls somewhere, and you do not even know it. Years from now, women are going to come and say, when I was a little girl, I was watching you. When I was a young man, I was watching you. What an honor. What an honor. And what a platform you have to be influencers. And that's what we have.
The conference, I mean, I'm inspired by what you're saying here, and so clearly there will be no, because we don't talk about it enough. And I think anybody who's watched the show knows that I don't like when men come and say, oh, to other women, to the women's department, when are you going to build a men's department? I think men have to show that they can do it. Whether it starts with just a group or organization or a seminar, and that's a start. But are you also going to, inspiration is great, but it falls flat if you don't give tools.
Absolutely.
So what are people going to walk away with tools? How do I better regulate my emotions? How do I work towards incrementally becoming a better husband, better father, better person in society? Will there be tools that will be imparted as well?
Well, I would say that the purpose of conferences like these, I guess a part of the backdrop is that we do these all the time. And I want to add this to the statement before it slips away, but I remember going to the prison, right, and speaking to guys who had actually committed murder, young guys, young kids, 17, 18 years old. And I said to them once, I said, my approach to them was with an apology. And I said to them, I want to apologize to you for the way you were raised at an early age. You know why? You didn't deserve it. And I saw these guys weeping. Because probably nobody ever told them that. We look at them and we stigmatize them, you killed somebody, but there's a why. There's a why. And so it's important for us to understand that in doing conferences like this, we're building proximity. We're building relationships. These relationships is not, we're not inviting you to come to a conference, but we're inviting you to a relationship with us. And then our friends become your friends. I mean, you know, I do the Global Leadership Summit. We have professional trainers, experts. We will plug you to the right people. That's the heart, that's the intent. But we gotta start somewhere. And I wanna say to those listening to us even now, if you're not at that place where you feel like, well, I can come in and I can get some part of my emotion healed or get some empowerment, then come join being a part of the solution to bring the transformation that your deserves, because everybody's got a role to play.
True.
I love what my friend says, because you guys are doing that here. You're influencing people. This is a together effort. Whether we're gonna influence the political arena, talking about ethics and integrity and this type of issues, or the guy in prison, or that husband who is thinking about leaving his kids, or that benefit concert we're having on Friday, because we're saying we're looking after those single mothers who husbands have walked away, they're pregnant, and we're saying you don't need to take an abortion because somebody cares.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. We're building proximity. And in the proximity is the initiation of a relationship that will be long-term, where we will connect you with the right things that you need to get healed and empowered at the same time. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Garing, what's the response from young men?
Yes, the response is good. They're excited, The response is good. And that's what I want to also emphasize. It's not only for, it's for young men. You know, it's for young men. I believe they need it the most, I believe they need it the most, and so we want to invite young men.
But you could benefit the most.
And you could benefit the most. And also the conference, just before I continue, it's men only from Monday to Thursday. Wherever Friday is for the family.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So you can bring out the family at the conference. So we're not fully, you know. So yeah.
So you make that commitment to change in front of witnesses.
We'll close it off with the family.
So when is this going to be?
Tonight.
It starts tonight?
It starts tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where?
7 p.m. at Trinity Assembly of God Church. Yeah, on 2.5 miles George Price Highway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be every night until
Friday? Every night until Friday,
Do you have space available? Is it open? Do you have to be a religious person, or can it just be someone off the street that wants to come attend?
It's from all background. We're inviting all men to come.
Okay.
Everyone who's looking for hope. There might be a businessman listening. He's stuck at a place in his business and he needs a word. And we've said this over and over from our own personal experiences. One word from God can change everything in your life. One, that's all you need. One divine connection, one word. I've seen it over and over again. And so if your business is stuck, if your marriage is broken, if you're hurting, if you're looking for answers, if you're, you know, whatever it is, if you're looking for something to move forward, that's what this conference is about. It's helping to be that bridge between God and your life.
Okay. Well, I hope you're busting out the doors with attendance.
Thank you.
It is a great initiative, right?
Absolutely.
And is there a cost associated?
No, it's free.
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 All right, and you're breaking up each day into something different. Starting tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Gentlemen, best of luck.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take that final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.